Pacific Rim Job, Uprising. Poor movie's gonna get so many rim job jokes made about it. Kinda sucks. Pacific Rim Uprising is the sequel to Pacific Rim, not directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it takes place 10 years after Pacific Rim, in which Stacker Pentecost's son, Jake Pentecost, played by John Boyega, joins the fight with the Jaegers to take down a new threat that could bring the kaiju back. Pacific Rim, for me, was one of those movies that was really, really fun, and I think it's a really underrated movie. People really don't see the underlying themes of that movie, and really just kind of write it off as something that's a bit boring, because there's not enough kaiju fights. But that's not the whole purpose of the movie. You have to see how these people train, and all that, and you have to build this type of world. Pacific Rim was a really good throwback to those B type of monster movies. It's a B movie itself, and that's why I love Pacific Rim so much. When I saw the trailers for Pacific Rim Uprising, I was interested, but I was skeptical. What did I like about Pacific Rim Uprising? Well, when the action goes down, whether it's robot-on-robot porn or robot on kaiju porn. I'm just kidding, it's not porn. They're fighting each other. When the robots are fighting other robots and the robots are fighting kaiju, it's really fun. The visual effects are really good. The CGI, I didn't notice any problems with the CGI. It looked really seamless to me. There is destruction in these scenes as well. It was fun, it was entertaining, it was a joy to watch. It's well directed, it's well edited. I really like John Boyega in the movie. I really like Jake Pentecost as a character. That's about it. This is a very hollow movie. And this is a movie that was made for the sole purpose of starting a franchise. Yeah, it's really kind of turned into just a brand movie. It even sets up a sequel that we don't even need, I don't think. I don't even think the first Pacific Rim needed a sequel. I mean, I was kind of intrigued when I heard that there was a sequel and that they pushed the release date back from last year to this year, so that gave me a little bit of hope, but, I mean, thinking about it now, it's just, why did we even get a sequel to Pacific Rim? We don't need it. I think it would have been a better movie if it just stood on its own, because this is just trying to be a franchise starter, and it's just trying to be a movie that is trying to sell merchandise so that people can buy toys of these Jaegers and these kaiju to make more money.
But Yogurt, what is this place? What is it that you do here? Merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Open up this door. Come, walk this way. Take a look. We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising, merchandising, where the real money from the movie is made.
Kind of like Batman and Robin was only made to make money. In all honesty, this movie felt like a Transformers movie. It really felt like a solid Transformers sequel, because I hate all the Transformers sequels, to the point of making me not even like the first Transformers movie all that much. If they keep going with this and they get progressively worse, I feel like Pacific Rim is going to be to the Pacific Rim franchise what the Transformers sequels were to the Transformers franchise. That is, if we keep going and these sequels get worse and worse as they go on, they're not going to make me like the first one anymore, and that's a shame. I mean, Charlie Day returns in this movie. What they do with Charlie Day's character is completely dumb, and when they actually did this in the story, I said, well, this isn't going to work out. I don't believe it. And it was one of the most jarring things in this movie. And to be honest with you, the first half of this movie is really choppy. The pacing is off. There's really no character development. Scott Eastwood's in this movie. I mean, he's not that great of an actor. He doesn't give a good performance. I mean, you would think his father would come on to set and be like, well, lad, or something. I mean, Jesus, like, anything with Scott Eastwood gets me a little worried. But there's no character development for any of the side characters, and then the characters that return you don't really like all that much. John Boyega's character is probably the most relatable character in here, but all he does is just talk about how cool and sexy and handsome he is, and then he talks about how cool and sexy and handsome Scott Eastwood is, and I'm just like, dude, let's just get to the good stuff. Let's just get to the robot on robot porn and the robot on kaiju porn.
But the problem with that is that the kaiju are barely in the movie.
So that's all I came for. Luckily, the second half of the movie is it's really light on plot, but you get a lot of those fights and they're pretty satisfying. It's just the build-up to get there wasn't satisfying because the story goes in all these different directions. It's like, oh, we're going here, 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 here. It's like looking at a scatter plot on a math test and you're like, what the hell does this say? It's that convoluted. Again, this is a movie that is just made to sell toys and just to set up sequels. I didn't care about anything really that was going on. The ending, I will say this, the ending, as satisfying as it was, I'm just like, why is this happening right now? You question a lot of the motives in this movie, and there's so many subplots in this movie. In an hour and 50 minutes, it can't keep everything going at the same pace that the first one did. The first one had one straightforward plot. This one has just too many plot lines going on all at once, with very little character development. Pacific Rim Uprising is satisfying to a degree. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not great. I don't think it's terrible, but for a sequel to a movie that I really like and on rewatch really loved, it's a massive disappointment. I'm going to give Pacific Rim Uprising a C. Wow, I had a lot more to say about that movie than I initially thought I was going to. I mean, that's basically what it comes down to. This is just another Transformers movie, but better than Transformers. Guys, thank you for watching my review of Pacific Rim Uprising. Next week, I should have a review of Ready Player One. Can't wait to see that. You can check out some other reviews I've done at the end of this video. I will leave all my links to my social media accounts in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, a certified G and a bona fide stud.